Okay, so Borodar, good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to our Seren Academy Network meeting. So glad you could join me. As mentioned, I am recording this session because I've had some apologies and people didn't want to miss out. Thank you also for completing the register. In terms of the network meeting this morning, you can see here I put it as a success criteria, which sort of follows the line of all our professional learning at the moment. So my expectation is by the end of the network session, you will have been provided with information, a reminder of what Seren activities have taken place so far since the start of the academic year. Because what I would like to do is have a conversation about what has been the benefits to you as staff members in school, but also to your learners. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to actually have a conversation amongst yourselves around that subject. Also, to share ideas around what you've been doing in school, you know, with your Seren grant monies or with your partnership working with universities or other organizations or external partners that you work with. And I sent out yesterday the Seren Critical Thinking Challenge for Year 8 and 9. So an opportunity to just have a chat about that because it might be new to some of you. And I know that they have changed the title. It was the Seren Star Challenge last year. So it's similar to that. So it's nothing completely new. Welcome morning for those of you just joined us. Morning, Sharon. Hope all is well. Right, so as a reminder of what has happened on Seren Academy so far since the start of the academic year. So back in October, we had our Seren Academy Year 12 launch, where all our Year 12s and some of yourselves came up to the Blind and Gwent Learning Zone. And as with every launch, we have opportunities for learners, and then we have opportunity for you to engage as staff with our universities as well. Back in October, we also had a University of Cambridge professional learning event that was in Cymru, and that was very focused on supporting staff with the new teacher reference process, in particular with a focus on Oxbridge, and that was delivered by Sandy Mill. I know that not everybody was able to attend, but I know that the colleagues who did attend found it really useful. Then moving on into November, we had two Seren Academy Year 10 launches. And again, I know that several of you on screen came along to that. We had one in Llanwern and we had one in Cymru. Very well received day, judging by the feedback from yourselves and from learners that I spoke to. If you remember, we had the University of Bath present at that event, and we also had Richard from Confident Communication. And that in particular, the feedback from staff was that learners very much enjoyed Richard's session because for those of you who observed him, he's very animated. And I'm going to just remind you about the workshops that Richard has kindly offered in schools in April and also in June. We then had the University of Oxford Roadshow, which was focused on Blind and Gwent schools. And that was purely because Oxford University were in Blind and Gwent Learning Zone during this particular week. So it seemed a missed opportunity not to also invite Matt Williams into schools during that day as well. So that took place. We also had our first Seren Leeds Regional Network meeting, which is very focused on your agenda in terms of, you know, sharing practice, reminding ourselves in terms of what's on offer, what's coming down the line in the future, because I know it's very difficult to sort of keep up all the time with what's put on Teams, what's sent out in emails. So I think this just is a nice opportunity for you to talk to each other and just to consolidate what's happening. Then we had the University of Exeter Schools Roadshow. And again, I think more or less everybody here this morning took the opportunity to have Exeter come in and deliver those 1-hour workshops to whichever year group you chose. And I know that, again, anecdotal feedback from colleagues was very positive. That will continue. We do have a very strong relationship with Exeter, and they are a Russell Group university, high end, and we do actually get quite a lot of young people from EAS region ultimately going on to study a degree at University of Exeter. We also then, from the national perspective, they launched the Seren national team launched some university masterclass series, which I know that your learners have taken part in. So from November into December, we had University of Oxford school staff all-day PL event in Oxford, which was more or less a replica of the all-day event that we had the summer before last. That was so successful. It was the first time we'd done that. Went down extremely well, which is why I spoke to Matt about offering that opportunity again. And again, it was a super day, a very intensive PL program for school staff around how do we truly prepare young people for interview for Oxbridge, the admissions test process, the support services that are available in Oxford. And it just, I think being there just gives you a true insight into what the expectations are, what is provided for learners, the support mechanisms, the well-being aspect of the university. I will continue to work with Matt and look to do a repeat session again next year. So if you do have the opportunity to come along to that, I think it would be really, really beneficial. I actually did it in partnership with the Powys Seren Hub this year, and one of the school staff members from there actually said it was the best PL from a university they'd ever had, and they were just buzzing when they left. So yeah, a good day was had by all. We also launched in December the Physics Olympiad and the Seren Maths competition. And again, I know a lot of schools here this morning, their learners have taken part in that and, undertook the exam process as well, because I know there was a lot of emails flying around speaking to exam officers in school about that. So again, really sort of pushing the buttons of that stretch and challenge for your Seren learners. And I'd be interested to know your feedback about that. Then in January, we have had, or I have had a series of meetings with yourself to have a catch up in terms of how Seren has gone for you so far this year, and what your learners have been up to, what they've been participating in, feedback from yourselves on how it's progressing. I'm very pleased to say that overwhelmingly it's been positive. And I think for me, as you know, the conversations we had have progressed on to, so what does the Seren Academy provide? And how does it benefit the rest of the learner cohort? Because I think it's really important that all the knowledge, the skills, the understanding that you develop from being a part of the Seren Academy program just effuses wider than the Seren cohort of learners. And again, you gave me some fabulous feedback for that, so thank you very much. Year 12 kicked off with virtual STEM and humanities workshops delivered by our PhD colleagues from the Brilliant Club. And we also had year 11 and 10 masterclasses as well, virtual classes. We're still in that program, and so they will continue. over the next couple of months. But please do share those opportunities, certainly the ones during the daytime with your pre-16 learners, with heads of department or subject leads, depending on what the topic of conversation is. They have all been recorded, so if you would like a copy of any of those particular sessions, please let me know and I shall make sure that they get sent over to you. And we also launched the Year 9 debating competition and provided the resources for you to use in a wider context. And I'm very pleased to say that the John Frost School were the winning team from EAS and will represent our region in Oxford University in mid-March. So they are very obviously absolutely delighted and very keen to do their very best for us. So we wish them all the very best in that capacity. And I know the John Frost School was one of the schools that sent their apologies this morning. So already we're in February. The year is flying by. We had the very successful Year 9 STEM event. Balfour Beatty were one of the participants who delivered their super workshop, getting all your learners to build bridges, sustainable bridges out of paper, straw, cardboard. And for those of you who came along, you'll recognise on the right-hand side there, Spot the dog, which I think freaked everybody out as it was trotting across the playground of Llanwern High School, followed by a chap with a laptop or an iPad making it walk. There was a lot of yelps and screams, but that was super fun. It was a successful event, and I know again the colleagues said so to me on the day, and hopefully we can repeat it next year, because I know for some of you, you weren't all able to attend for various reasons, but yeah, it was a super day. And in fact, I need to send you an evaluation for that, because I was very much supported by Sea Science, who helped put me in touch with the employers who were present at the event. So that was Network Rail, Balfour Beatty, Airbus. You know, they were the ones that facilitated the conversation for me, which was good. This month also has seen the launch of the Year 12 mentoring opportunity. That went out in email. It's also on Seren Govard. I've put the link there, so when I send you the PowerPoint presentation, if you still have learners who want to participate, there's an opening for that. And also the Year 12-13 essay writing workshops, again to support in terms of articulation and extension in terms of quality of writing. We've got ongoing Vesper sessions have taken place this month, picking up from last term with Martin Griffin. But again, I know Vesper is something that absolutely is not restricted to Seren, and it's nice to see it expanded across other aspects of the school, other year groups and groups of learners. The Year 10-11 speaker series resources have been launched a couple of weeks ago. Again, an email went out with that, but if you don't remember seeing it, or if you want further information, just let me know. I can send it on again. And obviously we've had the summer school applications launch. Good news is EAS is ahead of the crowd, and we've had the most applications for summer schools this year. So learners will start to hear shortly whether they've secured a place on the summer schools. The first one is the Cambridge one in Easter, and I believe the learners were being or have been informed this week about that. So fingers crossed it's some of your learners who've been successful. And then obviously moving forward, we've got continuation of opportunities, which I'll come on to in a minute. And I've got a slide specific for those events as a reminder. So hopefully that was a quick reminder of everything that's taken place since September with Seren. And I know that all your learners have participated in various capacities in across all aspects of everything that I've mentioned. So with that in mind, what I'd like you to do now, to give you the opportunity to have a chat amongst yourselves, I'm going to put you in some breakout rooms in a minute, to have an opportunity to think about, from all the opportunities and experience so far this year, what do you think the benefits have been to your learners? Please have that conversation. And also, what have you or other staff colleagues also gained from these experiences? We haven't really done that before in terms of speaking to each other about that concept. You've spoken to me about it, but throughout the feedback that I've received when I've had those one-to-one meetings with you, it struck me that it would be a lovely opportunity to share your thoughts and your concepts around what Seren has been doing for you. So if that's okay, I'm going to put you into a couple of breakout rooms for 10 minutes, and that will be really lovely to get your feedback in terms of, you know, your thoughts once you've shared them. So I'm going to, how many are we? I think I probably put you in just 2 or 3 rooms, if that's okay. And then have that conversation. If you want to take a screenshot of those questions, so that, you know, nothing complicated. To date this year, everything that your learners have participated in, what has been the feedback from them, what do you think that they've gained or benefited from, and likewise with yourself as staff. It would be lovely to share those experiences as well. So I'm going to create the rooms and I shall bring you back. It's 9:22 now, so just after 9:30, and then it'd be lovely to have some feedback from yourselves. So if you want to nominate a spokesperson, you can, or we'll just have some free speech and have that conversation. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes, if that's okay. So please do grab a coffee if you've not already got one, and I'm going to send you off now. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hi. I hope you found that useful. I know we haven't done that before, had an opportunity to talk across the region. So, oh, somebody on the phone. Right, we had just 2 rooms. So I wondered whether we've got a volunteer from one of the rooms to just give me some feedback to share with other colleagues.
You didn't give us enough time, then, Sean. That was marvellous.
Oh, thanks, Grant. Well, you can go. I'll be sending you back out shortly, so you can have another chat.
That was really useful. As I was saying, and you know, I'm quite new to this kind of role, and I was getting some wonderful advice here of colleagues about things that they're already doing, and particularly around summer school stuff. So I'm really appreciative of that. It was great.
Oh, thanks, Grant. Okay, so any little snippets in terms of feedback that you gained?
Similarly, in that, you know, we're all enjoying the events and particularly enjoying the opportunities for children to do things off-site, and particularly engaging in uni visits rather than it just being a kind of presentation type thing. Going places, seeing things and engaging with people is what's making a difference to them.
Yeah, you're right. And I do, that's a sort of a trend and a pattern in terms of over the years, just broadening horizons, taking young people out of their immediate and local community, to raise their confidence, to give them that aspiration, which is, you know, that's always heartening and lovely to hear that feedback.
I think a big thing, you know, the University of Bath, when we came down to and come around when he did this, and we had some kids up in Oxford, was that getting that idea across to the kids that they do belong there.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
their place is every much as valued as traditional private school child, then, shall we say, without generalising. So I think that's important as well.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So that we trying to overcome that imposter syndrome. Yeah, we definitely need to keep chipping away at that. I absolutely agree. Yep, good. Thank you. Thanks for that, Grant. Thanks for that feedback. The other group, anybody want to make some comments about that in terms of the discussions that you had, please?
I don't mind doing.
Is that Rhian? Hi, Rhian.
Yeah, sorry.
Rhian.
Yeah, we were just discussing what we've got involved in, really. So lots of positivity about the Balfour BT Airbus session for year 9 and 10, particularly. I think we all found that had quite a big impact on the girls.
Good.
And it was quite nice to see the women there that were talking about how they've got involved in engineering. So it was quite nice and they were all buzzing about the sessions, but particularly the girls had their eyes opened well. And also there's lots of good feedback about the Vesper sessions, about the Brilliant Club sessions, some ideas. For example, the Meducator session, that seems to have been really popular within one of the schools. I think I can't remember what school, sorry. So just sort of encouraging everybody to get involved in that, really. And also sharing ideas around the sort of virtual sessions that have been provided about maybe there's a lot going on. So sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to coordinate sort of who's where, what's happening. It doesn't always fit in with lesson times. So one of the schools was talking about how they're going to put together a drop-down day and use the recorded sessions rather than the live sessions. So it's great to have the recorded resources as well as the live resources, because I know that our school timings are quite difficult, so it's not always possible to do it within a specific lesson. So it's handy to have the recorded to be able to go back to that as well and have a sort of focused day, really. So and then a little bit of discussion around the Vesper sessions and how people have used that in different ways. Some using it with sixth form, some using it with year 11. And everybody's excited to get going with the critical thinking projects as well, and how that's been a really positive thing for learners previously. So looking forward to getting going with that again.
Lovely. Thank you. That's great, Rhian. Thanks for that feedback. And interesting you said that about having the recordings and creating your own time and space to focus on what was possibly missed or just, as you said, doesn't fit into the timetable. So I'm really pleased to hear that. And I don't know if other colleagues have thought about doing that as well. Because most workshops have been recorded, certainly the ones that are organised by myself regionally. I always ask presenters if we can record if it's virtual. So if you do want copies, just give me a shout. I'm very happy to provide them for you if you want to do a similar event. I think Vesper you mentioned there. I know that Vesper has been spread far and wide. A couple of years ago, we sort of just focused it on Seren Mat learners, but not anymore. So that's, been able to influence other learners as well. And in fact, in a minute, I'll just talk about some of the Positively You opportunities that are coming up for your learners. Grant, can I just ask you, because I can see you on my screen, in terms of what difference it makes to staff and colleagues in school being involved in the Seren programme, what would you say you've been able to influence other aspects of school life or groups of learners?
Yeah, what it's turned into for us, Sean and me anyway, is just spending a lot more time with these kids, and also our data sets. I did say to a couple of colleagues here, in year 11, the last year and before the pandemic, they were performing okay, but our group of learners that weren't above the line of regression and doing the best, very well in the family, should we say, is our top third. So it got me then thinking about the diet of the children we're getting from Curriculum Sense and what teaching and learning looked like. And that turned into a big inset event at Christmas time, where we did lots of teaching strategy we use. We walk through school, so we lots of teaching strategies for more able students, teaching to the top and so on. But what I did is I spent time. I got a real, because there's so many events, so I got a lot of really good relation, real good engagement from the year 10 students. So I had them to do a big pupil voice event, and that turned into me. They produced a PowerPoint. I videoed them and I played it for the staff about what their learning experiences were like, the things they'd like to have, things they'd like to see more of, the things they didn't like. So that was a real eye opener. And then we gave the staff some planning time to go back to their programs of study and things and look at like what the learning experience was like for the more able and talented students. So it's turned into a bit more than just your extracurricular stuff.
Yeah.
Whilst all the while the extracurricular stuff is extremely valuable. And we've had 4 applications for summer schools now. We've had 1 rejected from Cambridge, but waiting to see how the others have got on. So, you know, that's something that's never happened for us. So it's starting to make an impact there for those learners as well. Our engagement, what I've done, train the trainers with the Seren learners for UniFrog. So I took them through the program, and then when we had PSE days, they did the training for the rest of the school for launches for lower schools. So we've had a huge uptake in engagement with UniFrog as a result of things like that. And I'm just setting up now like a math mentoring program for I'm going to take 2-year breaks between them. So I'm going to use 10s with 8s and 9s with 7s. And I've created some resources. And they're just social, get to know you activities really at this stage. So just so that those Seren learners can spend more time with other Seren learners. I'm not involved in the sixth form because you know, we got some challenges with our sixth form. I think they still suffering a bit of a hangover from the pandemic, and I think they got enough on their plate. So I'm doing a little bit lower down in the school, and I also want to get that engagement for the more able and talented learners. And I also held a more able and talented parents evening just before Christmas, just to say this is, you know, your child's been identified as a potential Seren learner and that kind of thing. And we had 40 odd parents there, so we had you know, for us that's a decent start. And we've only got about 10 to 12 kids per year group that are true Seren learners, really. So I was pleased with the turnout of that. So yeah, you know, the Seren event and identifying the kids and getting that information shared with the staff has turned into a bunch of other wider school stuff for us as well. Perfect, so hopefully it'll be some wider school impact.
Okay, thank you, Grant. That's music to my ears, because I think we've been doing Seren for a number of years now. So the time is absolutely ripe to make sure that as many learners and staff in the school benefit in terms of just the experiences and lessons learned. You know, simple things like when you have university visits, you know, into the school, you know, you need as wide an audience as possible, you know, rather than restrict it to Seren learners. It's about enabling the Seren learners, developing them as leaders of learning, leaders of supporting other pupils and learners across the school, definitely. And also, you know, anything that I suppose is offered through the programme, how can we adapt that to potentially work or benefit other learners as well, you know, so a bit of sort of potential blue sky thinking. So just, I suppose, squeezing as much benefit out of the, as I said, the lessons learned, the understanding, the skills developed from the Seren programme. So thank you. Thanks for that feedback, Grant. That was super. Thank you. Right, moving on then. So I said that we're still in the on the journey of activities, workshops, opportunities for Seren learners. So these are the remaining pre-16 virtual workshops delivered by the PhD tutors. These are the ones that will be recorded. So this is just a reminder with that huge Teams link there, but because I know not all schools can access the shortened version of the Teams, so I asked them to put the big version. So that's just a reminder. So we've got focus is year 9 and year 8, as you can see. So one of each, STEM, humanities. I think the emphasis is around, these are sort of like stretch and challenge sessions. So regardless of what the title is, you know, if there is opportunity to bring learners together, and again, you might want to engage curriculum leads or teachers, could they facilitate one of these workshops? All you need is the big screen and a colleague, a teacher in the room to facilitate the discussion, if possible. But it's more around, you know, conversations, debates. The PhD tutors will pose questions, you know, get learners working together to come up with answers and considerations. So if possible, and if you can make those sessions happen, or alternatively, as I said, I'm very happy to send you a copy of the recording. We've then got just 2 more Year 12 sessions. We've moved them due to feedback from yourselves to the evening now. These were also daytime sessions, but these last 2 sessions will be early evening. So we've got one next Tuesday, a STEM event, 5:30 to 6:30, and then one on Monday the 4th of March. So please do encourage your Year 12s. Again, this isn't about, you know, you have to want to study biomedical science or English literature. This is to try and expand the experience of higher education learning, which hopefully will support them with UCAS applications and personal statements. So please do send these on to your Year 12s and, you know, encourage them to come along. Rianne mentioned earlier about the Meducators workshop. Yes, we've got Meducators coming back. Hooray! And the pictures there, the bottom right-hand corner was a picture that I took when they were in the EAS region last year. This is just a reminder. I know that some of you on the here with us today have learners booked on to this event, but it's Saturday, 2nd of March. 9:15 to 1 o'clock in Llanwern High School. It's a super event. It's very interactive. The learners move around the workshops. They get to use stethoscopes, blood pressure machines, reflex gadgets. They look at examples of x-rays, have to guess which part of the body it is, what's broken, what's missing. So it's all very interactive. It gets the learners fully engaged. Two-way conversations. So it was a real good buzz last year. So, you know, if you have any learners who may be interested in healthcare, medicine, even if it's veterinary, dentistry, anything at all, it would benefit them. It's super fun. It's a Saturday morning. I shall be there. We'll have SLT member from Llanwern. All the GPs and surgeons that will deliver the workshops are obviously all DBS checked. So, you know, please do encourage learners to come along. We've still got spaces. We have a maximum of 100, and I think we're up to about 70, 75%. As long as we get the majority of learners being Seren learners at the event, then, you know, if you've got some real inspirational, budding, aspirational medics, please do. Yes, I'm happy for them to come along too. Okay, this is new. This is new information for you now. We've just secured some workshops to be delivered by Positively You. I know some of you have engaged with Positively You in the past and enjoy the workshops that they deliver. So this is hot off the press. Week beginning 8th of April. They can visit 10 schools in the week, 2 each day, 1 morning, 1 afternoon. If you would like to them to come into your school week beginning the 8th of April, please do click the link at the bottom when I send you the PowerPoint presentation. They are 2-hour workshops. You can have either 2 hours of one of the topics. So option A is Super Speed Study Skills Workshop, or option B, Exam Buster Workshop. So 2 hours of one or 1 hour each. It's entirely your choice, and it's your choice as to what year group you would like to participate. They can do up to 100 learners in one sitting. So, you know, if you've got use of the hall on any day that week, you might want to get as many learners into the room as possible and invite them in. So it is a first come, first serve situation. So I will send this PowerPoint out straight after this meeting. So date for your diary, everybody. And I know that several of you have engaged with Positively You in the past. And we know that the workshops go down really well because they're very interactive and engaging for learners.
Sean, sorry, the second one said for GCSE. Is the first one are they both GCSE?
No, the first one is flexible, Lou. So
we can have that for year 12?
Yes, you can, yes.
Well.
Yes. Yeah, obviously the Exam Buster one, I think that's what they get the biggest requests for, is to support GCSE learners. But I suppose, well, not suppose, I would suggest that if you would rather have it for ASA level, then that would be possible as well. I've just seen some comments in the chats. No worries, colleagues, if you have to leave, no problem at all. Just a reminder that Richard Hull, who you met at the Year 10 launch, I've already sent this offer out, but he is able to deliver workshops in school. The year Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4, there's only 3 slots left. I think Thursday afternoon and Friday morning or afternoon. But I know that Richard went down extremely well at the Year 10 launch in terms of entertaining the learners. So grab him whilst you can if you haven't already booked your slot. The Year 12 one in June has gone, I'm afraid, as in it's fully booked. But there are just a couple of spaces left for the Key Stage 3 and 4. Again, you can choose. You can only do up to 30 learners. And those are his 2 options: solo speaking or group speaking workshops. Okay. Grant, have you got a question? Sorry, you're on mute, Grant.
The old classic. I booked one of those sessions. Thank you. That's wonderful. I was thinking, because you went down so well with our Year 10 pupils, about possibly booking him into school for us. How expensive is he, though? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, he's not very expensive. I can't remember, it's £200 or £300 he charges.
Oh, that's doable.
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah,
I've got his contacts from your previous email, so I'm going to send him. We can do that. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
Yesterday I sent him all your contact details, just to let you know. Yeah. For people who've already booked, I've sent him your contact details. He was going to get in touch either today, tomorrow, just to firm up arrangements for the sessions that you've booked into.
Okay. That's brilliant. Okay. Thank you, Sean.
Okay, no worries. Right, the Seren Critical Thinking Challenge. Okay, I sent that information out yesterday because I only got it yesterday. It's basically the what was the Seren Star Challenge. They've decided to change the name, but in principle, it's the same process. It does what it says on the tin. So learners are tasked with completing 6 online courses from the OU's site, and they will need to choose a course from each of those subject areas. The email yesterday said initially schools will need to have learners put in an expression of interest. Okay, I hope you all saw the email I sent yesterday. If you haven't, give me a shout. I'll also put it on our team space as well. So, and I know a few of you had asked me earlier this year whether the Seren Star Challenge was coming back. So in essence, it has. They've just revamped it, renamed it, but it will be the same process in that you will need to, at the end of the 5 weeks, once the learners have completed their 6 areas of learning, you will have to submit a claim form. Karen, can I ask you? I know that you were one of the people asked me whether the Seren Star Challenge was coming back. Are you still here, Karen?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. What? I know you asked about it. What's been the advantages of the Seren Star Challenge to learners?
Because I think the pupils take responsibility and they can dip into the activities that they're interested in. I think that's what they like about it. It's very independent. They haven't got to do, like, for example, the brilliant workshops. Trying to explain to them that some suit the STEM, some suit the humanities, but they like the Seren Star Challenge because they can pick and choose what they want to cover and what they're interested in. Yeah, and there's quite a variety of different topics there as well for them to pick from. That's what they particularly like.
Yeah, okay. It's interesting you said about encourages independent learning. I know that some schools said to me they were truly amazed at how eager and keen and enthusiastic some of their learners had been, wanting to do as much as possible. And I think they were surprised by some learners who they thought wouldn't step up to the challenge, not only stepped up to the challenge, but exceeded it as well. So, and, bearing in mind, we are trying to support them, in terms of transition to post-16, transition to post-18. So something like this is a real bonus for them, really. It gets them, into that swing of having to be self-organized, self-motivated, and so on. Do any of you make a sort of fuss at the end, have a little sort of award ceremony, or could you have something like that to sort of celebrate all the hard work and effort that they put into it?
We give our certificates out in assembly. We laminate them and we keep a copy for them and we give them to them in assemblies. We have celebration assemblies every half term. So usually we wait till the end of that, like spring term or summer term, and we give them out then.
Oh, nice. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's well deserved because, it is in addition to their, their school study. So it's nice to have that celebration. I don't know if anybody else has got any other comments about the Seren Star Challenge previously.
Yeah, we did this, Shan. We didn't do it last year because so many of our learners had done it the year before. But when we did it the year before, we did it as an after-school session where they could do it together rather than independently because they asked for that. And they got a lot out of that, working together on it, sort of discussing between themselves what they were doing and choosing courses together sometimes. And then likewise, we did exactly the same thing. We used assemblies then to give the awards and congratulate them and sent letters home congratulating them. But again, really, really enthused about it and loved the fact that they could pick and choose what interested them, and there was lots of different stuff available. So it was a nice opportunity to just try anything.
Oh, good. Oh, thanks for that, Ryan. Yeah, no, and that really is the aspiration, to be quite honest. And hopefully that enthusiasm will continue, as they continue on their journey with their studies. Lovely, thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, that went out yesterday, so please do pitch in and get as many learners signed up for that as possible. Okay, right, another opportunity for you to have a chat together. Oh, we've still got colleagues who are having to shoot off. Yeah, no worries, Elizabeth and Sharon as well. So I think, how many people have we got left now? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's Grant, Karen, Louise, and Rhiannon. So I was going to ask you, or give you the opportunity to talk about what you've been doing in school. What have you organised yourself? So far, the focus has been on, what's come out of EAS region or some of the national stuff. But I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about what have you taken on board yourself. So if I just put you back out in the room to have that chat. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope that was useful. Oh, I think it must be break time somewhere. Is that you, Louise? If you got I was going to ask Lou. Lou, would you mind feeding back this time in terms of?
Sorry, I think that was my door is slightly open, and it's all the kids are like tea, so they're a little bit excitable on a Friday morning.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure. Yeah,
Yes.
Go on.
Myself and Grant were just in the room. It was just the two of us, and
Yeah.
we were just talking about some of the opportunities and some of the things we've done. So some of my things were just trying to promote the Seren students in the school. So in our Welsh back department, we've got a massive map of the UK. And we plot where the students go to university, or if they're doing apprenticeships, we put that on there. And that is really quite eye-catching, and it's really nice. But what I want to do is move it and put it in the common room, really. So, you know, the students that are going in there day in, day out then, because it's just in the wrong place at the moment. And something else we're doing, and this sounds like lovely, and I can't wait to see it. So, you know, like Hollywood, and you've got the Walk of Fame with all the stars in the floor and the handprints. We're going to do that in our reception.
Yay!
So we're going to have a Walk of Fame. So the tiles that are currently down are going to be imprinted with the names of the students and where they've gone, and the year that they left us. So yeah, we've got the template of the tile from the company, and yeah, we're just trying to gather all the information, really. So that's going to look fab then, so all our visitors and the students coming in through reception will walk on the Walk of Fame, and yeah, just promoting what the students do, really, and where they go.
Well, that's the first, Lou. That is the first. I do hope you invite me to the grand opening.
Oh, we'll have a grand reveal, and you can be, we'll have a coffee and a cake, and we'll do the big reveal. Yeah. Oh, well. So I can't wait to see what that looks like. Our
nice.
Our head of like estates is on it. So yeah, we'll see. I'll let you know.
And do you know what? Where you're celebrating that, you know, that the big map on the wall, or, you know, it's very visible. It's so brings it to life, you know, and even if you don't have a sixth form, you know, colleagues pre-16, you know, you've got your alumni, you know, if you know where they've gone, you know, what dizzy heights they've gone to, it's absolutely worth having it visible, having it celebrated, because we've got
an alumni wall. So we've got all the students that go every year. It's not just university, and it's not just Seren. You know, it's students that have gone on to apprenticeships or working or whatever. So we've got an alumni wall, and we get them back in the PSE lessons. And it's really good to get them back in December, because they're all home nice and early from uni. And it's really good to get them back then in the summer term, because again, their exams finish quite early and they're a bit bored in the summer. So really good opportunity to get them back then. And they do, sometimes we've had alumni students talk to the entire year group. So we had 3 back just before Christmas. And they spoke to the entire year group, and then we've done smaller ones. So we've had things like, we've had doctors back. The one student we sent to Oxford 2 years ago, he's coming back. So that'll be a little bit more of like I guess a focus group. You know, you just got to use your judgment, really, and see if you need someone to speak to the entire. But they are really keen to come back as well. It's just
absolutely.
pinning them down and getting hold of them. But Twitter's been really powerful for us in that respect, because I tweet a lot, and then, you know, the students, when they come in year 12, we get them to follow us. I know we can't force them, but we encourage them to follow us. We say, you know, we don't follow you back on Twitter, but follow us, and we tweet all the time, and then they get to see things. And Harrison, who went to Oxford, was like, Miss, I'll come back and I'll do a session for you, which is great then.
Oh, excellent. Oh, good. The power of alumni, yes, you can't underestimate that, you know, especially when they can stand up in front of their peer group and say, do you know what, a couple of years ago I was sitting where you were sitting now, but, you know, and here I am now. And regardless of pathway, like you say, apprenticeship, you know, university, employment, whatever, it can be so powerful in terms of a role model, someone from, you know, their own community. That's fabulous. Yeah, lovely. And again, I know that, you know, other colleagues on the call are doing similar things, and they bring a different dynamic, don't they? You know, from teachers in the school.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Like when you listen to the students and they talk in the moment. I'm in university, and I was sat there 2 years ago so it's not another teacher saying it or their parents, or, you know, where you feel like, oh God, here they go again, they're nagging me. It's one of their own kind of thing, you know, and it is powerful.
Yeah, oh, lovely. Brill, thank you. Oh, I'm very excited about your tiles now. Yes, let me know well in advance, the grand opening. Thanks, Liv. Right, so does that mean Rianne and Canna were in the other group? Anything colleagues want to share from that other conversation?
Yeah, we were talking. Karen got called away, unfortunately, bless her, but we did manage to have a quick chat. Just sort of, there was a lot around. It can be quite difficult sometimes to juggle everything, because it would be nice to have somebody that was just responsible for more able and talented, and that was their entire focus. But that's not the position we're currently in. But regardless, the thing that I've found has been really useful is the Scribblers program.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So we've done a lot with that with our Key Stage 3, and we tend to use our more able and talented learners because they get the most out of it. But also looking at who are, I tend to do it anyway. So you've got your pure Seren learners, but who are the ones that are free school mealers that maybe don't quite hit the Seren category, but actually with a bit of a push might.
Yeah.
I tend to chuck them in on the opportunities anyway. So we took a group of year 7, 8 and 9 to the Welsh medium one back in November. I took year 9 to the one in Swansea just before half term, and we've booked onto the activities at Hay Festival in the summer, but they fill up ever so quickly. The Welsh medium ones were gone within half an hour.
Oh,
but
wow.
You can book on them virtually. So they will release the sessions for live streaming as well. So we've booked that as well, so that we can do the Welsh ones in school and take them on the English ones. So they're really good sessions to do, because I've got one learner, for example, and if that's the only one it's had an impact on, it's worth having it. She tells me every day what new chapter she's read of the book that she bought while she was there. She's a free school mealer who admitted she's never read a book. You know, they've been brilliant, and they often look at quite mature topics. So this one was looking at around how women are perceived, the differences between men and women, gender bias, that kind of thing. So it was really interesting. It wasn't just about the books, it was a lot of stuff about race, about gender bias and so on. So there was a lot of interesting meaty conversation.
Thanks, Rianne. That's really, really helpful. I need to get in touch with those guys. I think Rianne has also mentioned them to me as well. So I've made a note. It's because it sounds as if they, provide some really good stuff. So thank you ever so much for all your feedback. Right, just got a couple of slides left before we wrap up the meeting. Some additional resources which are probably not terribly visible, so I thought I'd just alert you to them. The Seren Space, the Seren Govod, where learners have to register, the older learners to access some of the activities. They've got a resource section which you might find helpful. They've got recordings on there. We've spoken about recordings and being able to use them in your own time. So some of the national events and workshops they've put copies there. So if you go to Seren Space, if you're already registered, on the left hand side there's a resource link. So if you click on that, you can pick up other resources as well. The Further Maths Wales programme is continuing with real earnest. Again, it could be your head of maths is already engaged and looking at what they have to offer, but if they haven't, this is just a reminder. They've got a lot of support, free support for learners and PL for staff, in terms of aspects such as the admissions tests, step programs and so on and so forth. So that's just a little prompt, a reminder. And I had an email from the Hay Festival yesterday. The Hay Festival program has just been launched, activities in school, and online podcasts and all kinds of things. So just following on from Rianne's input there about Scribblers, we know that we need to continuously enhance learners' literacy, articulation, skills. So that's worth definitely looking at. And when I send you the PowerPoint, you can click on the link and it'll take you to what they have on offer for schools. Other thing to tell you, alongside Seren PL and activities, I'm also part of the cross-regional Realising Potential group, and we've got a couple of sessions still to run, 1-hour workshops if you're interested. Friday 22nd of March, we've got a session on metacognition. Again, not just for Seren, but for learners per se. So if you'd like to come along to that, you just need to register. And then there is a follow-up session in May on peer and self-assessment. So sharing practice and experiences. We also have 1-hour workshops this year as a follow-on from our post-16 leadership program. These are aspects that have been requested over the years. We did a transition session yesterday afternoon. If you were unable to attend that and you'd like a copy of the recording of the presentation, just drop me an email. Happy to send you that. And then we've got 2 more sessions left, one on nurturing support post-16 and addressing disadvantage and promoting fairness in post-16. So you can see the dates, 12th of March and the 12th of June. So again, you would just need to register. They're all virtual to get the links. Just a quick reminder that emails I send out, the information is also hosted on those team spaces. There's one for Seren Academy year 8 to 11 on the left, and there's one for the year 12 and 13, which is the joint header 6th form one as well. So I'll keep posting stuff on there and put things in files. I think, or I hope everybody is a member of those groups now.